Okay, differentiated instruction is the process of taking different paths or avenues in order to reach the same conclusion. Differentiated instruction leaves space for students to take in their own knowledge and skills so that they can solve the problem in a way that makes the most sense to them. Here are the general principles of differentiated instruction. Flexible learning groups are really important because this has a lot to do with grouping students together based on their readiness to learn the concept, their interest in the concept, and their learning preferences in working with or thinking about a new concept. Essentially, these groups are placed together so that students are forced to work with each other that can be compatible, and they might not have known that already. Along with this, students might find that they share interests with each other and be able to build and link that way. Respectful tasks are also really important. All choices and tasks need to be interesting and engaging to the students so that they don't lose focus. Also, along with this, all the tasks need to be focused on the same learning goal. Students that are having difficulty with a concept are engaged in learning opportunities that are just as interesting and appealing to those as other students as well. Along with this, continual assessment is a really important part of this process. Differentiating for content. The students need to understand the knowledge, concepts, and skills involved. There are various formats that can be used for delivery of content, and it's important that the students get to be able to choose from which of these delivery formats they like. Readiness is involved with the current skill level when it comes to content, and interests involve the backgrounds of the students. Now, differentiating for the process. This is making sense out of the content. Essentially, you have to digest and reflect. Processing content periodically so the information is not forgotten is also very important. A good example of this is taking a break every half an hour for the students to think about and process what they have just learned. If too much information is piled on at the same time, then the students can become overwhelmed and forget it. As far as readiness, access to content is really important for the process. And interest, making sense of the process. And for learning profile, evidence plays a key role. Now, differentiating for the product. Clear academic criteria allows all the students to understand the purpose of the exercise. This is very important so that no students are confused and that all the students are working towards the same endpoint. Leaving an activity open-ended for students to grow takes away restraints on the lesson, which also takes away some pressure, along with allows more individuality and experimentation. Students give their teacher a proposal on how they want to connect the lesson plan to their own interests. Differentiating for the environment. This is having a workplace that is flexible enough to accommodate for various lessons and students. This is your developmental floor plan, or your DAP. This includes like group and solo configurations that are all properly spaced from each other, along with enough space to move the tables and chairs around so the whole group can come together in the center of the classroom. Now, I'm going to work on differentiating a lesson plan for Mitchell, who is a student with autism. Some key things I want to point out about Mitchell really quick is that he has extreme focus in areas that he is interested in, which is very applicable for differentiating information, along with he needs to work on building friendships and his writing standards. So I chose the Standard 2, Standard 3 to create a book from the UEN lesson plan archive. The original plan for create a book was for all the students to model the story, The Last Shop on Market Street, in their own short story. My differentiated plan is for the students to all listen to the teacher read The Last Stop on Market Street, and then to come up with their own short stories. This would force Mitchell to write about something he's interested in, which we all know gives him a lot of motivation. Along with that, I would force the students to be peer editing throughout the whole process with multiple different partners so that Mitchell is forced to read others' work and have others read his work. This would hopefully help him in some social regards. And that is it for my presentation. Thank you.